Welcome to the November 11th, 2024 Advanced Report from McGowanGroup clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. Wow, what a week. What happened right here? That is overnight futures, and it was actually about 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday night. You can see the markets start to react to the election, and I've never seen such a compelling reaction to an election. And we're going to cover why. Look at this. And those futures just kept going as the results came in. Boom. And then on Friday, the Fed cut rates, by the way, right here. That was already predicted by the T-bills. If you're a subscriber to YouTube McGowan Group, you know that the T-bills will project what the Fed's going to do because they're all in suits and they're all bankers and they talk, and the Fed is kind of leaky. So the T-bills will move ahead of the Fed and tell you what they're going to do. They've already told you they're going to cut rates 0.25% nearly every other meeting for the next 3 years, actually out into 2027. But anyway, Dow hits 44,000. Why would the reaction be so strong? It even surprised me, and I'm obviously on the conservative side. Deregulation, lower taxes, lower rates. Now let's think about this. The proposal was from the Democrats to raise corporate taxes from 21 to at least 28%. That would decrease the net present value of future earnings by 7%, the amount of the tax. Now the proposal has moved towards 15%. From the Republicans. That is a 13% increase in the net present value of future earnings. The other reason, and let's look at the Dow year to date. Dow year to date up 18%, S&P 500 up an amazing 25% so far this year. The other immediate impact, and I've never seen an election with such a compelling market reaction, but it makes sense in the context of deregulation. The Federal Trade Commission announced lawsuits nearly every week this year against companies. And that's just one example of overregulation, hostile regulation, and we've seen this before. As those get rolled back, it's an immediate increase in productivity and profits. Because if you're not answering some Federal Trade Commission subpoena, you could actually do something productive. And that's part of what's happening right here, is an immediate move towards deregulation January 20th that's already getting factored in. Now, that's Dow 44,000. That's a big wow. By the way, I'm Spencer McGowan, your financial weatherman. Always a pleasure to be with you, and I invite you to subscribe. And if we do a good job and help you make money, then be sure to hit the like button too. This is for our clients, and it's built by McGowan Group Wealth Management. I'm president, McGowan Group Asset Management, and we are also a team of 11, and you can tell we are busy all week long, scouring the financial markets. What's true? What's not true? What's the reaction? Now, here's an immediate reaction. This is iClean. It is the global clean energy shares. It's no secret that solar's gotten a lot of subsidies, EVs have gotten a lot of subsidies, and those are the primary components of the clean tech exchange traded fund. So you can see this is an investment lesson. This had gone from $50 to as low as $50 when it was launched in 2007. And it goes to 34, not even back to where it IPO'd back in 07. This is the mass delusion that we were going to very quickly go to net zero. It is all hands on deck, all sources of energy, and yes, getting cleaner along the way. We're agnostic, meaning, yes, we think solar is about to get interesting. Look at this pounding. It was just an immediate pounding. The index down about 7% because the solar subsidies go away. What do these companies look like if they're not on welfare? Well, there are some very profitable companies that have gotten extremely inexpensive, and that could be an interesting play along about December 15th during tax loss selling, when everybody's dumping it because it hadn't worked and they need a tax loss to reduce taxes. That's one of the strategies that we employ. By the way, just because we talk about something doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until you get a written plan from McGowanGroup Wealth Management. We serve affluent families right from the Crescent in Dallas, and you could set your time to update your plan. One of the things that we talked about at networthradio.com in the audio broadcast, or you find us on Apple Podcasts too, just type in McGowanGroup or Net Worth Radio. Anyway, we talked about this week the reading of the will. This is something we do for our clients. Most clients haven't read their will thoroughly, and if they have, it's been a long time. Well, your advisor, that is your logistics expert at executing your will, right? The estate planning attorney drafts it, it may need an update, and when we sit down here in the conference room and go through it piece by piece, we actually discovered a will this week that wasn't even signed, right? The client would have died intestate. So we got him notarized and witnessed and all fixed up. Now it's in the document vault, ironclad. This is the team you want on your side for that too. This may be a bargain, the clean tech. You still got some I wouldn't buy this ETF, but because it's got EVs in it, some of which are scheduled to go bankrupt within a year, 18 months, if they don't turn things around. But there are some solar candidates that we find interesting. It is all hands on deck for energy. How is the S&P 500 earnings report going? Well, sales growth 5%, that's more than inflation, which is about 2%, and earnings growth at about 7%, that's pretty healthy. There are projections for double-digit earnings growth going forward into 2025. We'll see. This is a little bit below expectations, but we've got 453 out of 500 companies reporting, so it's about a 7% growth rate in earnings. All right, top 10, bottom 10. Hall of Fame, Hall of Shame. This is over the past 30 days. Who's winning? Well, we mentioned the solar. Solar down 34%. Supermicro was a high flyer that we did actually trade and traded out of, thank God. They're having an audit problem, so their earnings that they've reported may not be accurate. But you can see solar kind of led the way down this week. Irving-based Celanese down 32%, growth just disappeared. But what's winning? The consumer is alive and well, and it's not a recession for travel. United Airlines up 44% so far this year. You got Norwegian Cruise Lines up 31%. Palantir Technologies, cybersecurity up 37%, and Carnival up 26%. The consumer's alive and well based upon that chart. All right, here we go. These are the pipelines. Take that deregulation subject real quick. Let's say we've built 4 times as many pipelines as 2014, which is pretty accurate according to Recurrent. One of our big holdings, I just wanted to see how they're doing. Now, value at risk of loss. This is the pandemic. Boom. It loses over half its value temporarily, right? Wow. But you could buy it at a 12% yield at that point. Anyway, so we just reinvested and added to it because the pipelines are like a tollway. The natural gas and the oil flow through. What happens to that spigot? And you can kind of see this spike right here. What happens to that spigot when the liquid natural gas expansion, the export facilities, get approved? There's been a moratorium on that. That moratorium likely to go away very quickly. That's more gas flowing through, and you own the tollway, and you get a dividend. And more traffic represents more revenue. 5-year total return 122%, 17% there on a 5-year average annual return. Thank you for tuning in. Find us at networthradio.com. You can contact us there. And we look forward to your planning appointment and the reading of the will. Thank you for tuning in today to Net Worth Media. We also have Apple Podcast. Simply type in Net Worth Radio and boom, it'll hit your phone right then. If you also go to networthradio.com on a browser, you're going to be able to meet the team. You can see our performance track record, the model portfolios that go with today's broadcast. Also at networthradio.com, the longer play podcast is available there as well. We're grateful that you've tuned in. Remember, when we talk about a security, it doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until we actually complete a written plan for you by Zoom or in office or simply a conference call. So you reach us at networthradio.com if you want to get that arranged. Market fluctuations and how to handle them. We build high cash flow portfolios, and past performance doesn't guarantee future results, so you do have to be ready for challenging markets. We can build more cash flow during challenging markets than we can when everybody's happy and everything's up, which is when we tend to raise tactical safety. Those allocation strategies are here at networthradio.com. Thank you for tuning in.